It is the stuff of Hollywood legend. The night of November 11th, 1919 was supposed to be the most romantic in movie history. Two stars of the screen were deeply entangled in a passionate dance at the Hollywood Hotel. The setting for the marriage party of Rudolph Valentino and Jean Acker, a little event that was proclaimed no less than the marriage of the sanctuary. Everything was going swimmingly. That is, until the public show wrapped up and the newlyweds had to face the reality of their new lives. Valentino knocked on the locked door of his suite, hoping to consummate his new marriage, but he was refused entry. Acker, having felt too late that marrying him was a mistake, then fled to another lover's arms, and shockingly, it was another woman. That woman was Grace Darmond. Grace Darmond was no ordinary woman. In an instant, Grace became Hollywood tabloid gold, the bisexual blonde star who rescued her lover from the sheik's sheets. But behind that gossip lies a rich, turbulent life of ambition, romance, controversy, and ultimately tragic obscurity. This is the story of Grace Darmond. Welcome to Hollywood Mysteries. Music. Grace Darmond was born Grace Marie Gliona in Toronto, Ontario, the daughter of Vincent and Alice Giona. Her father was an Italian-born violinist, and her mother Canadian. When Grace was a teenager, her father died, and she and Alice moved to the United States, settling in Chicago. It was in this Midwestern city that Grace's talent first bloomed. As a shy schoolgirl, she discovered the stage and caught the acting bug so powerfully that even in an elementary school play, she was spotted by a member of the Selig Film Company, who offered her an immediate screen test. By 1914, barely 16 years old, she had left her birth name behind and became Grace Darmond, debuting in Selig Polycope's comedy short, When the Clock Went Wrong. Her looks and presence quickly caught the eye. Selig cast her as a leading lady in 4 1915 releases, A Texas Steer, The Millionaire Baby, A House of 1,000 Candles, and A Black Sheep, opposite stars like Tyrone Power Sr. Grace liked being in films because a studio was in Chicago where she lived. She told a reporter, a practicality that balanced her stage experience with George M. Cohan's company. She grew into her glamour. She was light, wavy hair with a tinge of gold and the complexion of peaches and cream, very modest, observed writer Caroline Carr. Carr's food analogy was pretty apt, as Grace was a girl who enjoyed food a great deal. In fact, she even claimed to aspire to the opposite of most stars when it came to body image. "I want to be fat more than anything else in the world," she said. "I eat anything fattening and try not to exercise too violently. I adore fat people. They look so comfortable and happy." In an industry obsessed with slim silhouettes, Grace's candid approach to appetite certainly set her apart. But even as her talent and beauty impressed audiences, her off-camera relationships with the studio soured. In early 1916, William Selig mysteriously and very abruptly terminated her contract for reasons not fully explained. Internal memos showed the studio had Selig even warned other producers to avoid hiring Miss Darmond, making her an early victim of Hollywood blacklisting. Devastated and unrepentant, the 18-year-old sent Selig a telegram pleading, "Won't you forgive me just this once? Stepdaddy isn't working and they need my help very badly. Please let me stay." It's unsure who exactly Stepdaddy was, but the obvious candidate would have been her mother's new partner. She also promised to be a, quote, "good, obedient little girl," if given another chance. While it's lost to history what exactly her infraction had been, the studio's ultimatums to her show that even early on, Grace's feisty independence could clash with Hollywood's rigid conventions. Before I get any further into Grace's unique and very controversial life as a star, I'd like to show you all the range of shirts I now have available in the Hollywood Mystery Store. All the shirts are designed in-house and are completely exclusive to Hollywood Mysteries. You won't see these designs elsewhere, so if you're wearing one, it'll be something a little special. I have designs featuring quite a few silent-era stars such as Louise Brooks, Gloria Swanson, Rudolph Valentino, and Paula Negri. You can find a link to the store down in the description and also on screen now. Every sale is a huge help to the channel, and I love seeing the messages you send with the purchases over on the site. Thank you so much to all of you who have purchased one. Feel free to check it out and grab some unique Hollywood merch. And finally, don't forget to check out the Hollywood Histories podcast series over on Patreon and in the YouTube members area. I did a recent episode on the Sea Lake Polycope Company, which I mentioned earlier as having signed Grace, and there are plenty more episodes to choose from. For just $3 a month, you get access to all of them, as well as ad-free uncensored early access to the main videos and other perks. Thank you so much to all the Patreon supporters and members. It makes all the difference. Now, let's get back to Grace Darmond. Whether through contrition or the vagaries of the system, Grace soon found a new home. In 1916, she was hired by Pathé to star in the 15th chapter serial, The Shielding Shadow, a cloak and dagger adventure that kept her busy and visible. But the real breakthrough came after she joined Vitagraph Pictures in 1917. There, Grace became the steady leading lady to matinee idol Earl Williams, headlining 7 features through 1919. Critics really took note this time. Variety raved about the 1917 social drama The Other Man, praising both the gripping plot and Grace's performance. Grace Darmond is the new leading at the Vitagraph plant. The trade paper gushed, and she is a quirky-looking blonde who will make a hit with the fans now that she is with a company making regular releases. In 1919's The Valley of the Giants, a sprawling lumberjack epic also co-starring Wallace Reed, Variety again singled her out, calling her a blonde who plays her love scenes charmingly. And I can't be the only one who would like to see another sprawling Hollywood lumberjack epic on screens again. In any case, it all seemed on course. She was a rising star in Hollywood's golden age, and things were looking up for her after a shaky start. Grace even made film history by appearing in the gulf between the first Technicolor movie ever released in 1918. In the movie, amazed audiences watched her glowing form as a shipwrecked heiress, now the colorful symbol of silent cinema's technological future, which Grace seemed assuredly to be a part of. But fate had other plans to test her luck, both professionally and personally. By mid-1919, Grace's career had brought her to the very heart of Tinseltown society and into a love triangle that would make headlines. It began when she met Jean Acker, an ambitious young actress and protégée of stage legend Alana Zimova. According to accounts, Grace fell hard for Jean soon after their first meeting. Over the summer of 1919, the two actresses danced at parties, took late-night rides, and steered each other away from suffocating relationships. Grace urged Jean to break free from Nazimova's ownership and move in with her. Acker, torn between the star and her mentor, wavered. It wasn't certain in her mind that the sometimes volatile Grace would be any easier to deal with than Nazimova. But Jean Acker also learned of a handsome new Italian actor named Rudolph Valentino, and by autumn she struck up a friendship with him. Seeking a convenient escape from both Grace and Nazimova, Acker asked Valentino to marry her, a solution that stunned her female circle. Late that night, the couple arrived at the Hollywood hotel where Jean Acker lived. They joined a lobby dance and smiled for photographers and guests. But when Acker retired early, Valentino followed and discovered that his bride had bolted her room shut. After knocking fruitlessly, he eventually gave up and left. Hours later, Jean Acker quietly slipped out of the hotel suite and walked straight into Grace Darmond's arms, confessing that marrying Valentino had been a terrible mistake. The next morning, the tabloids were poised. Something was up and they were going to snare it. A stunned Valentino penned a letter to Gan. "Come to your senses," he entreated, offering to prove his sincere love and eternal devotion. But within days, Valentino discovered that Jean was already in the arms of another. At the messy divorce trial 2 years later, he testified that he begged Acker to come back, and she proudly told him, "No, you go back like a good boy." For his part, Valentino maintained he had respected Jean's privacy, but was furious to find her constantly accompanied by Grace and Grace's mother, Alice Johnson, at Grace's Franklin Avenue bungalow. So, he burst into the apartment, pushing Alice aside, demanding to note the whereabouts of his wife. Jean was, Alice told her, taking a bath. Valentino wasn't in the mood to wait, so he opened the bathroom door and began a furious argument with the bathing Jean. The scandal grew so intense that newspapers famously termed it the bathroom incident. Producers, nervously sniffing headlines, wondered if silent screen audiences would care more about this real-life drama than any plot on film. As it turned out, they did. And the subsequent divorce trial was an even greater media and public circus than the wedding had been. Grace and her mother were both called to testify about the bathroom incident. Finally, a divorce was granted, Valentina went from strength to strength after this, at least for a little longer. But Akka would never recover her career, and the accusations of a lesbian affair were to haunt both of the women. Through it all, Darm and Akka stuck together. They took a small bungalow on Orange Avenue in Hall,